Hey there. I just thought this might be a great opportunity just to leave a couple notes on some bonus content having to do with empathy. Just because, why? We've all experienced the need for empathy. I'll bet we've all experienced misplaced empathy. And we all have a desire to do empathy right as well. And so I thought I'd just share a couple thoughts of the way I've organized it and experimented with it a little bit as well. I'm here in Detroit Airport, and it's actually a great place to even think about empathy, because one of the things I think about empathy is this idea that in our quest to convey this idea that we understand somebody, we also approach the fine line of saying, I've been right where you are, which is not really true. So as I look around here at this airport, I clearly can identify with some people. And I see things happening, strangers. It's a great experiment to do, by the way. Is just go around the airport, go around the mall, go around a public place, and be thoughtful about what you are seeing that you connect with, what resonates to you, what you ascertain that somebody's going through, that you can feel this sense of I get it, I've done that, I know what's coming next, I've had that experience. It happens to us all the time. And with people we know and people we care about, it moves us into action, right? But I want to share a thought about the difference between empathy and compassion. Because empathy is just this idea that we become invested in understanding, that we move to a place where we get a sense of what that person is going through and what that person is experiencing. It has nothing to do with claiming to know from our own past experience exactly what that person's going through, right? So empathy is really this desire and this movement and this engagement to breathe it in, if you will, right? To feel it, to hear it, to sense it, to take it in, to learn more, right? So really, it's a appreciation that we don't know exactly, but we're interested in knowing, so that in knowing we can do something. All right? So I always feel like the word empathy gets overused. It's like empathy is a destination so that we can wear a badge of honor saying I've been there too. I know what you're going through. I always feel like I know what you're going through is one of the worst things we can say. We may even think it in our head and say, oh my gosh, that takes me right back to a painful moment myself of losing a child, or of going through a divorce, or becoming unemployed unexpectedly, or losing a deal, right? And so I think empathy does that. Empathy sometimes puts that in our head, and we start communicating those very things. But remember, empathy just prepares us for action. All right? When people say you act with empathy, I think people would act with compassion based on empathy. Right? Empathy prepares us to do something valuable, serve in a valuable way to someone, right? And it could cause you to go into action and do all kinds of things. when we talk about somebody that's struggling or somebody that's hurting or somebody that is going through a tough time, I encourage us all to be open to the idea that we don't know what that person needs. We could inquire, we could ask, but the most compassionate thing we can do is just be willing to walk alongside that person, to be somebody that will listen, or even just sit in silence. Just sit in silence. And we have some great discussions going on right now where people are dialoguing about how it feels to have somebody kind of in a heartful way want to be a good person, but say, I know what you're going through. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to share with you how to get through it, maybe, and not meaning ill will, but knowing that you don't know. You don't know my situation exactly. Just because I fit into the category of losing a parent, my story is totally unique, and you don't know what it's like for me to lose my parent. And so, if we lean in with empathy and feel like we're getting the story, then we also need to be really sensitive. If you're drawn to move with compassion, act with compassion, we have to be drawn with discernment and the true desire to fulfill the quest of what does that person need as opposed to what you think they need. Right? That's the difference of having somebody serve you in a wonderful, gracious, full way, or somebody serving in a selfish way. And it's a little insidious because when we've gone through loss ourselves, we're still grieving too. And so helping, quote unquote, helping somebody else with their loss is a way that we feel like we're engaging in therapy ourselves, no matter how small or big it is. But if we really want to be a great person for another person, then we use empathy to lean in and listen and watch and hear and breathe in and sense the experience as a private eye, as a good friend, as an investigator, gathering clues. So if we desire, if we're called to act then in compassion, in a way to help somebody, then we'll have some intelligence and some information on how best to do that. And even then, I would say, to start slow and to ask a question as opposed to telling, and to be okay that non-action seems like action. Sitting with somebody, supporting somebody. And we have a lot of that going on here. So many people here are just saying, hey, you got this, I'm here with you, we support you. That's compassion too, even though we don't feel like we're solving a problem for the other person. It's okay, right? So empathy is the experience of gaining a sense of what's going on for that person. Compassion is acting in a way out of care and support. Let's not assume we know what that is. Let's certainly not assume that we know for sure what that person's going through. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I'm so blessed to be a part of this, and just wanted to throw this out there to help us all navigate and come up with creative ways to be empathetic, to prepare us to be compassionate. Love you guys.